Russia is on fire, dozens of explosions, cities are burning and factories are blowing up.
There are children here while they're in a panic. And it's really scary. Something flew right past my window and the sound was like a motorcycle. And it's burning again. Something's burning there again.
Russia is on fire, dozens of explosions, cities are burning and factories are blowing up. A real nightmare. Russia is under a barrage of attacks again. The whole country was shaken by dozens of powerful explosions. Fierce revenge from Ukraine. A strike right at the heart. Putin's military-industrial complex destroyed. Aviation is hunting Russia. A fire show in Tatarstan. The footage is blowing up the internet. A secret operation by the GUR. A hellish mess in Kaliningrad. Watch till the end to see all of this. Hello, this is Ukraine Today. I'm Darina Hutsakalo, and here are the latest events. The Russian Federation is once again under targeted strikes. Russia is in complete shock. More than 10 explosions hit the Oriol region, one after another.
Residents in the Sovietsky district of Oriol saw bright flashes in the sky. Locals say that sounds resembling air defense systems are echoing throughout the city.
The only thing locals are worried about now is that they couldn't finish watching their favorite TV series. Unknown drones have chosen a new target. Among Putin's key facilities, this time it's a motor pool. So loud that your heart skips a beat. The Russians are complaining you have to hear this. Oh good, I made it in time. Apparently the occupiers even had to deploy aircraft to shoot down the drones. The locals can't hide their emotions. The chase after the drones left them speechless.
I didn't manage to record it.
A helicopter flew right over my house. Right over. Honestly, I barely had time to react. It was, basically, right above the roof just a few meters, as if it flew right over the roof.
Meanwhile, the local authorities are keeping completely silent, as if they've swallowed their tongues. Not a word about casualties or the consequences of the attacks. But that's not surprising, it's all in the traditional Russian style. But in reality, this is what's happening in Russia. The Russian Ministry of Defense is also keeping silent. All they report is the successful downing of all targets.
Air defense systems on duty intercepted and destroyed 12 Ukrainian fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. 11 UAVs over the territory of the Oriol region and 1 UAV over the territory of the Voronezh region.
The drones also put on a fire show in Russia's Tatarstan. Putin's critically important factory was at the forefront. The sounds of frantic gunfire and the usual ineffectiveness of Russian air defense repel the drone attack.
There was.
Meanwhile, Russians are genuinely surprised, saying it's war after all. Putting out Valma.
With the air raid, right? We have...
The local workers ran out and aren't hiding their dissatisfaction. They say, why aren't they taking cover? And really, why not? Meanwhile, I get another alert. Why? Is he still working? Some are talking, others are running away as fast as they can.
Stop. There. What's flying this way?
And no, this isn't a marathon. These are Russians trying to escape their fate. dropping to the ground. That's the advice being given to the crowd of Russians.
Don't move, don't get up, or I'll hit you up.
An explosion of unprecedented force. The factory simply blew up. These shots went viral online.
Cover your ears.
A massive fire broke out in the area of the Oros and Soles car plant buildings.
Looks like the cars are burning. There'll be another blast.
The head of Tatarstan reported that during the neutralization of the UAV, its debris fell on the checkpoint building of the car factory in the Yelabuga district. As a result of fire of unprecedented scale.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
It has become known that the Alabuga economic zone was attacked by a 22 Flying Fox UAVs carrying FAB aerial bombs. Shocking details of their route coming up right now.
The drone was flying in from the northwest side. This is evidenced by footage from the engineering equipment factory. As it approached the main workshops of the Alabuga Polytechnic, it dropped an aerial bomb. The likely target was the academic building.
The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine confirmed that Putin's military-industrial complex has lost yet another important factory. One of the sites producing strike UAVs has been hit. It has been confirmed that the strike assets reached the target area. The results are being clarified. Meanwhile, something incredible happened. Her agents carried out a secret special operation that left Russia holding its breath. They cut off power to key facilities of the Russian military-industrial complex and army in Kaliningrad. Her operatives drained the coolant from the power transformer at the substation and then set everything on fire. This caused a massive fire that severely damaged the facility and completely cut off electricity to enemy enterprises. The Kremlin is in a panic. Russia has lost nearly $5 million. And that's not all. Strike drones attacked the airfield in Buturlinovka, Voronezh region, where Russian strike aviation is based. The blows in the Kremlin knocked over dozens of chairs.
Oh, interesting. Take them down. So interesting. Cool. Finish them off. Oh, interesting. Cool. Get down. Ah, damn. A crushing defeat in another region of the Russian Federation. UAVs attacked the chemical plant Nevinomysky Azot in Stavropol Krai.
Yeah. It's flying towards the Azot. I see it. Do you see it? Save it.
According to locals, they heard the first explosions around 3 in the morning in the city of Nevinomysk. Preliminarily, debris from a Ukrainian Lyuti-type UAV fell in the industrial zone area. Meanwhile, the Russians claimed there was a swarm of drones. About 20 UAVs were flying directly at the plant.
Guys, Azot is on fire over there, and you could hear gunfire. You can hear them shooting. And right now it's really scary. How can I put it? You can hear the sounds of gunfire there. That's Azot.
Damn. Oh, shit.
Immediately after the attack, a massive fire broke out. The flames shot up into the air in a huge cloud. After all that commotion, the locals are left almost speechless. However, judging by their labored breathing after the so-called run, they were seriously frightened. Later, the regional governor confirmed the attack. He said that debris was burning. At first, he reported one injured person, but later clarified that there were no casualties.
Dear comrades, there is a drone threat. Several strikes have been recorded on our enterprises. I ask you not to panic. There are no losses. We have a clear understanding of the next steps. Wait for instructions. I will explain everything. I will tell you everything. The situation is under control. Thank you. Thank you.
The local residents are not so optimistic. It's scary.
There are children here. We are in a panic, and it's very frightening. Right outside my window, something flew by, and the sound was like a motorcycle. And it's burning again. Something is burning there again.
Well, while some Russians are whining, others are running away as fast as they can.
We're getting out of here. Let's meet near that place where the Grand is on Central.
By the way, the Nevyansk chemical plant is one of the largest enterprises in Russia for the production of nitrogen fertilizers and ammonia, and is part of the Eurochem group. The plant produces ammonium nitrate, carambite, methanol, liquid fertilizers, and other chemical products for industry and agriculture. The central control point of the enterprise was hit. This is what's left of it.
That's what's left of the control center. That's the chair. Here's our dining room. This is the dining room. Let's see. That's all that's left of the control center. This is all that's left of the control center.
So now it's official. After the drone attack, the plant has suspended operations.
One of the largest producers of ammonia for the military-industrial complex in Russia has halted production after drone attacks by the Ukrainian armed forces.
Crimea is burning. Powerful explosions have rocked the peninsula. Drones visited the occupiers' key airfields, Khvardiske, Kirovske, and Saki. Exclusive footage has shocked the entire world. A night of terror in Simferopol. Dozens of strikes. The occupiers are in a panic. After midnight, chaos engulfed Crimea. Social media exploded with reports of numerous strikes. No one expected such a blow.
Oh wow, it's falling. Oh. Something's about to happen. Mommy.
Rumbling all across Crimea. Yevpatoria, Bakhchisarai district, Sevastopol, Feodosia, Saki, Alushta, Novofedorivka, Kacha, Kirovsky district, everything is on fire. From Simferopol, you can see a terrible column of smoke rising into the sky. They say it's the gas power plant and Pereval. See for yourself. Eyewitnesses reported hearing sirens and explosions around 2 in the morning. Bright flashes could be seen from the direction of the sea, and the sound of an engine was also heard in the sky. And that's not all. Moscow is under attack. Drones attacked a secret factory in the Moscow region. The Kremlin is in a panic. They struck the Resonit Technopark in Zubovo, according to the general staff. A factory for the serial production and assembly of printed circuit boards used in high-tech weaponry was hit. This is a deadly blow to the Russian defense industry. Meanwhile, the armed forces of Ukraine are destroying the enemy not only in the rear, but also on the front lines. A counterattack in the Sumy region. Ukrainian defenders advanced and liberated a settlement. At the same time, the enemy has concentrated a powerful group of more than 50,000 soldiers on the Sumy border. What is happening on the front right now? Watch right now.
We are not just holding back the assault, but also reclaiming our territories. It became known that the armed forces of Ukraine managed to stabilize the situation in the Sumy direction and even push the enemy back, according to the results of a close meeting with Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky.
Announcer, in particular, it has become known that in the Sumy region, the occupiers have concentrated about 53,000 troops who have been continuously assaulting our defensive line for several days now. However, despite such efforts, our fighters managed to recapture the settlement of Andriivka from the enemy and carry out successful counter-operations.
Volodymyr Zelensky. Based on the results of these days, the warriors of the 225th Separate Assault Regiment especially deserve our gratitude, specifically for their offensive actions in the border areas of Sumy region and the liberation of, in particular, Andriivka. Thank you very much, guys. I would also like to mention today the 425th Separate Assault Regiment for their successful actions in our Pokrovsk direction.
Announcer. Overall, analysts assess Russia's offensive in the Sumy direction as a continuation of the Kursk operation. By concentrating tens of thousands of soldiers there, the Kremlin sent hundreds of troops to their deaths every day, which ultimately produced results. As a result, the tactic was deemed successful, and now these meat assaults are continuing as part of the offensive deeper into Ukraine.
Andrei Kovalov, back then the Russians managed eventually to find our weak spot, which was logistics. This Sumy-Sudzha highway was the only lifeline connecting our contingent to the main forces. By cutting it off and threatening encirclement, they forced us to retreat closer to the border. Now, the Russians are repeating the same tactic in a formulaic way, trying, though not without some success, to cut off our forces in the Sumy region from the main forces by severing the Sumy-Sudzha highway, and this is already happening on our territory.
Narrator. However, the occupiers are only able to reach Sumy on propaganda talk shows. In reality, the occupation of the regional center is completely out of the question according to the military. The Russians simply do not have enough reserves concentrated there for such an operation. But the real objective is to inflict maximum terror on the local population.
Andrei Kovalov, the goal of this offensive was to get as close as possible to Sumy, so that the city could be shelled by FPV drones and artillery, including tube artillery. At that time, indeed, some Russian figures claimed that they had already gained the ability, as of about the middle of last week, to shell Sumy with FPV drones. They were very pleased about this. But now we see, according to the president and the available sources, that the enemy has been pushed back.
Announcer. So how exactly was it possible to improve the situation in another hotspot towards Pokrovsk? Our troops do indeed record minor successes by Russian forces there. However, the results being touted by propagandists are still clearly a long way off.
Andrei Kovalov, the pressure continues along the main axis of attack, with very fierce intense fighting ongoing both in the Pokrovsk direction between Pokrovsk and Kostiantynivka, and to the south of Pokrovsk in the Novopavlivka direction, where the situation is very difficult, and also essentially in the Lyman sector, where they're having some successes. But to say that they can now break through the defenses there and reach operational depth, no, that's not the case. Our forces are countering them, and they lack the necessary resources.
Announcer. The Dnipropetrovsk direction also remains on the agenda. According to the president, the Russians are spreading disinformation here, trying to at least set foot on the administrative border, sending in small sabotage and reconnaissance groups for this purpose. From time to time, these groups publish photos claiming that Russia has already reached this area. At the same time, they conveniently forget to mention that when the saboteurs return to their units after another information psychological operation, they are regularly eliminated by the armed forces of Ukraine.
Announcer female, that's all from Tyoman. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next strike against the occupiers, and give us a like to make the voices of the drone operators and the nightmares of the Russians even louder. See you next time. It's going to be intense.